FAR student most of the way through light and ground training. Uh, IFR. Okay. You know what they say, one peak is worth 1,000 corrections. Yeah. IFR, that's tough. That is, I think, for just about everybody. That's a real challenge. And when I got mine, I was working, well, not working there yet as a CFI, but the place I had a sim that we could use that was fairly cheap. I mean, it didn't have the visuals or all of that, but that was very helpful if you can go through that. And my guess is, and I haven't done it in a long time, that something like, what was the software for the simulation? It was, I want to say Flight Plan. That's something totally different, though. Uh, but they're one of those online simulations is what I would use because they're first of all just the basics, the knowledge bookwork. You've got to have that, but you also have to develop a scan. And with the analog instruments, it was basically a six-pack scan. You had three instruments, and you would go up, over, back, kind of like that, just to kind of keep everything in the scan. Now, with the full glass cockpits, you still have to scan, but it's not quite as natural as scan, I think. But maybe that's because I started on analog and went to glass. From what I've seen, it's easier for people who start on analog to go to glass than it is for people on glass to go to analog. Let's see, what am I missing here? Wow, wow, this is a lot of people really fast. That is absolutely fantastic, fantastic. Uh, hey, Michael, yes, all is well. A lot going on, a lot going on. And that's what I was going to talk about also. The biggest reason that I had stopped on the videos uh, was the fact that once Mike retired, we were using contract guys, and that took up so much time. I mean, I was constantly trying to chase down people. I mean, I would have people that would cancel the night before for an early morning trip, things like that. It was really took up a lot of time. And also, you can't make a video with somebody that just shows up that you've never met before, who probably would kind of be really uncomfortable with that. And so now I'm working with Ted. Ted is actually okay with that. Let's see here. Uh, let's see. Bump, bump, do you prefer Challenger 300 or the Gulfstream 280? Well, I've never flown the Gulfstream 280. I've got SIC time in the Challenger 300, and I haven't flown a Latitude. Probably the closest thing I've flown to the Latitude is the Sovereign. I like the Sovereign. Uh, I'm not crazy about the Challenger, uh, but I think that's probably because I haven't actually gone to a school for it. I'm just a 6155 fill-in SIC in the right seat. Uh, but when I do it, I make money. So, I'm not complaining about that. Yeah, yeah. But I think if I actually went to a school for it, especially for that Proline 21, got that down, all the stuff, then I'd be more comfortable with it. But also, unfortunately, another reason I kind of don't care for it is I do have a friend that flies one, and they seem to have had a lot of problems with theirs. A lot. Let's see. Uh, I have been to Benjamin, Mexico City. I have never actually been in Mexico City. Uh, I've been to, let me think where I've been to. I don't go there very often. Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, and what is the airport just to the north of Mexico City there? That was many years ago. I'd been in there. Most of my international flying tends to be down in the Caribbean, the islands, and I like the islands. Let's see. Now that's a very good point, Jim Goldfuss. Yeah, you actually have to stop and read it now instead of just looking at the pointer. Yeah, because I mean, if you're just glancing across and you see that pointer is off where you know it should be, it immediately draws your attention to it. But you've got to pause and you've actually got to read the number on uh, the glass or the digital. Let's see. Bum bum bum. Let's see. MMUSAF? What does that stand for? United States Air Force, but the NM, not sure. New Mexico, maybe? I don't know. So, uh, there. I was one of the things I was going to start off talking with, and I was thinking about this the other day. This is kind of weird. When I started out, I mean, on an airplane as a kid, as a passenger, my dad worked for Delta as a baggage handler. We got free passes, so we traveled. And where we lived in Memphis, and our house was basically on the arrival path for runway 27. So we would see the planes come over, the Delta planes and the DC-8s, the DC-9s, and all that. And I would literally dream about those airplanes. I wanted to be a pilot, and I would dream about it. When I became a pilot, I stopped dreaming about airplanes for some reason. I don't know, just kind of an odd thing. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, just north of Mexico City? Going there? No, that wasn't. It was. Oh gosh, I'll probably think of it in a bit here. Oh, Isaac. Hey, hey, that was nice meeting you, man. You're welcome. Yeah. SI trip in at 525. Do you see much use? Benjamin. Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Because he's saying he's done some work in the CJ, the 525 as an SIC. If you get just a basic SIC, you're only going to do it in the continental U.S. Because of ACAO, if you're going to go like into Mexico or the Bahamas or something like that, you got to get a 525 SIC type, which is just basically you do what you would for just 6155, but then you take it into the FAA and you're recommended, and you know, they do the paperwork and you get your certificate, and that takes care of that. It satisfies it. But the thing about it is, a lot of companies, if you get that and you're covered by their insurance, they're going to pay you the same whether you're typed in the airplane or not. I was not typed in the Challenger. I shouldn't say this, but I was making $12.50 a day, just basically being a radio operator and jerking the gear up. Now I could, put direct in on the FMS and do other things and stuff like that, but it's not qualified like the guy in the left seat was, who had been to a full initial, had taken the 6158 ride, all of that stuff. But I certainly did enough work in that airplane to make it well worth doing it. Now, sometimes you've run across other places, they're totally the opposite. It's like, oh, you haven't been to full motion sim? Well, our insurance is not going to cover you. Can't use you. Or we can use you, but since you don't have a type, we're only going to pay you, I don't know, half of that. Not nearly as much. But the thing about doing stuff work like that, contract work, is you need to value the service you're providing. And this is what I tell people right up front here. Yeah, you may be getting paid less, but the risk is still the same. If they don't just violate one of the pilots, you do a trip and you guys bust altitude. Well, just because you're making only $600 and the captain's making $150,000 a year doesn't mean you're going to get a tiny little fine. No, they're going to come out. They're going to come in after both of you equally. So you carry the same risk that their full-time guy does also. Maybe legally in some ways, financially even more. But I would never do a job where they did that. And I know that some people do that. So you need to be careful. Let's see. Hey, Chris, Tampa. Oh, I go into Tampa a lot. Yeah. Yeah, good to see you folks. So anybody just gotten their private, gotten your instrument rating, anything like that? I probably lost a bunch of people because I really messed up this whole thing with the live stream. But practice is the only way to do it. It is the only way to do it. Oh, I'd love to do coffee with you, man. Except for right now, I'm in the St. Louis area right now, and the guy that I take to and from Tampa, he's not there right now either. Yeah. So right now, Monday, I'm going to go pick up a Sovereign out of Wichita. I'll bring it back here. And then Wednesday, I got to fly the new Caravan. The Caravan we had, some of you probably don't realize, some of you know it. They sold that, and the owner bought a brand new Grand Caravan EX with the Garmin 1000 NXI in it, and that is really nice. That is really nice. I'm older, so I've got a lot of analog, but I tell you what, I'm fine with analog, but I love the moving map displays with the NextRad and all of that stuff. I mean, I wish they had that a long, long time ago, because that would have been really nice. I mean, it's just once you get used to that, there's no going back. Because I remember, gosh, when I started 135, you'd be pulling out all these charts, estimating your ground speed, the wind, all of this stuff. Now you just go on the computer, put the flight plan in with flightplan.com, uh, print up your trip sheet, print up the weather, and in 2 minutes, you're on your way. Yeah, yeah. You got to look at uh, the TFR stuff. Yeah, but it is so nice. Okay. Working off your instrument on the way to commercial. Oh, yeah, that's great. Well, thank you, James. I appreciate that. I really do. Oh, Nathan is sitting in spirit overnight. Okay. Well, Nathan, uh, there are definitely worse places to spend the night. And I mean, you probably know that. But there are better places also. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Back. Here's Benjamin. Let's see. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, guys. That is very kind of you. Let's see. How can I give you my? Well, I tell you one thing I would not do is put it over the internet. But yeah, if you're out there at um, Spirit and you're over there in the FBO signature, just tell them and they can call me. They've got my number. They'll do that. The Jepson computer. Let's see here. Steve Whitcomb, good to see you. Let's see. I'm starting to get these messages here from YouTube. Okay. So, I'm just scrolling through these real fast. Sometimes I start picking up speed and going through here. All right, let's see. What else do I need to tell you of some stuff that's going on? Let's see. We got stuff going on in our hangar. We got a couple of businesses there, but right now we might possibly be moving from the Excel into a Sovereign. I mean, I think they're maybe just talking, maybe thinking. I don't know if it's really going to happen, but we'll see. I mean, if that happens, I'll definitely be making a lot of Sovereign videos. I'm going to start making more videos. I've got one. Actually, one of the reasons I just did this was because I've been working on a video. It's a 5-leg video, and it was just taking more and more time. And I thought, I just got to get something up there. Just participate online. That's what I got to do. Can't just sit back and think about how to do it forever. The best way to do it, at least in this, is just jump in and do it. Let's see. What FBO in Tampa? The guy, the major guy I work for, he was actually a tenant there at Signature, but no longer is. We've been going into Signature still. That may actually change, and we might end up going over to Sheltair. Yeah. But then here in Spirit, it's Signature also here. Yeah. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to do some different stuff. And, I spread it around. I put some stuff up on TikTok. Mixed success there. Some stuff up on Instagram. I got a little page on Facebook. Twitter, I have an account, but Twitter is not my thing. I've still got the account. There's still a little stuff on there, but I have not been active on it in a long, long time. And I think that, one day I'll just let that go. Let's see. Yes, I do fly to Georgia. I end up going to Peachtree, and I also go over to St. Simon Island. In fact, the video that I'm working on right now to get up, it was a 2-day trip, less than 48 hours, and we ended up going into St. Simon twice. on that video because we left Spirit, went to St. Simone, dropped off, repositioned to Naples, spent the night. Next day, we went to Spirit of St. Louis. Then we flew over to St. Simone again, and then back. And unfortunately, I've been having some problems with some GoPros where I have not. I normally run 3 cameras at a time. I've got one out the front, and then I've got one looking towards the instrument panel, and usually one out the side. The one out the side is the one that's recording all the ATC audio. And I think it's maybe just the wear on them, plugging the cable in and stuff like that. But I've lost some video files and some audio files also. So on some of those, I was still able to make something, but I may lose something like the directly out the front and have the maybe the side and down at the instrument panel with a tiny angled down view towards the ground outside the window there. But for those, I'll just shorten it up. Is what I do. Wings of Hope. Okay, yeah. Oh, Michael. Okay, yeah, yeah. I've been over to Wings of Hope several times over there for some of the things they have where they're, having get-togethers and stuff. Aspen. Okay, Benjamin. Yeah, how challenging do you think the approaches into Aspen are? Uh, it's not if it's a nice day. If it's not, I'd say go somewhere else. It's very high altitude. It's basically, for most people, it's one way in into that. It kind of angles together. And, at that altitude, if you lose an engine, you're in a world of hurt. You really are. I used to go into Aspen quite a bit, and we had that was in the Citation 650, the 3, and we had problems all the time with having to stop like at Centennial because we had to come out of there lighter. We needed it was 135. We had to have the performance. The only way to do it was either leave early in the morning or just cut the fuel down to just the basic to get over to Centennial. It's not one of my favorite places. Eagle's better. It still has its issues for sure. But I do think that it is better. And I prefer staying there because we'll go over to Glenwood Springs is where we'll stay. And I like Glenwood Springs. I like to hike, do things like that. Mike and I, we've rented bikes there and done all sorts of stuff. Spin training was fun. I used to do that in 152s when I was a CFI. Yeah. Let's see. Would I recommend spin training if I have the chance? That's a good question. Well, some things require it. Like a CFI, you're going to have to do it. Yeah. It kind of depends on what kind of flying you're doing. But yeah, as long as the guy that's teaching it is well qualified, the plane's good, and you have the opportunity, I would do it. Hopefully you never inadvertently get into a spin and have to actually use those skills. But it's pretty wild. I mean, when you do that, I personally enjoyed it. I'm not sure everybody will. Let's see. I've done spin training. I do it. Let's see. The last video from the cockpit showing the cabin at nice angle, and that was some smooth landing. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. That's got to be the one I just did. I did that actually. Threw that together today because I was so frustrated with how the other one was going, and it was taking so long. I thought, you know what? I've just got to get something up today. I'm going to do this one, and I did that. That one, that landing Naples was one of those videos where I had a camera problem, and the file for looking straight out the forward windshield was corrupted. So I had to use only the other two. But it made a short video and it kind of finished it up in the end. And Ted and I were sitting there talking. Not anymore. No, Kyle. As far as flying out of parks, yeah, I am officially no longer employed by Helicopters Incorporated. Excuse me. That was a previous employer. Excuse me. The owner sold the company, and with that being done, then I was done because uh, I've never flown a helicopter. I actually, when I was there full time, I was their fixed wing chief pilot. And they had like a Citation Encore, Citation 2, King Airs, stuff like that. CJ, M2, uh, Mustang. Uh, the gentleman that owned it would tend to buy and sell airplanes, is what he would do. Let's see what this is. What Dave said. Okay, I don't think it matters what plane you learn it in, if it is to become instinctive to think of A instead of airspeed and to install the wing for stick. Yeah, no, that's true. What I was talking about was the aircraft. There are some airplanes that, first of all, are prohibited. Spins are prohibited. And then the other thing you got to think about is, what kind of maintenance is done on the aircraft. Because if you don't recover well, you could put a lot of stress on the aircraft if you inadvertently do something. That was really what I was talking about with something like that. I would think most of them, it's going to be in an aircraft that is certified for. It's not in the normal category. It's going to be in the aerobatic category, doing that, and it'll say if it's approved for spins or not. Okay, Panama Rose. I have a 6-inch Dobson telescope. Uh, I love it. I've actually seen. I'm not the best at it, and I really hope. At least I'm looking at this. Excuse me. I'll go out on the deck, and I've seen the rings of Jupiter, and that when I finally saw that, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I finally have done that," and that was so cool. That was so cool. Um, what else have I seen? I love looking at the moon. That's pretty cool. One of the things I love doing is going out at night when the International Space Station is going to fly by and watching that go by. Yeah. The Tomahawk. Oh, uh, yeah. I used to work for a company out of Little Rock that had Tomahawks, and we did instruction in them. And one of the guys there went out, and they did. I don't. I don't think it was intentional. They did a stall and ended up in a spin, and the recovery, I guess, was fairly violent. It really shook the guy up. But one of the things that happened was the fire extinguisher was actually thrown through uh, the back window and broke the window out. So, but my only experience in the Tomahawk was just doing basic private pilot training in it. They hired Larry. As far as the Challenger 300 flights, they hired a third pilot, a guy that was already typed in it, that was looking for a full time job. Okay, I'm just reading one of these questions right now. Who gives you vectors and then you out? Okay, a question on SIDS. When departing on a SID and you make contact with the center controller who gives you vectors and a new altitude, is that the end of the SID procedure? Yes, it is. Uh, so, I mean, he's sending you somewhere other than where the SID is. So at that point, you are off of it. And if for some reason he's going to put you back onto it, he'll give you most likely direct to a fix on it and will tell you whether to comply at that point again with the altitudes or not, or just give you a specific altitude. But he probably won't. Yeah, once they take you off, they normally don't put you back on it. Oh, let's see. Working line. Have you noticed him? Oh my gosh, Nicholas, he's asking, have I noticed the uptick in traffic marching south this week? Oh my gosh, we went down to Naples. Um, it's just horrendous. It just seems like this year is the absolute worst with the traffic. So many delays and sector saturation, uh, delays on the ground, um, ex, you know, uh, delayed clearance times. Yeah, it is getting pretty bad out there, especially in Florida. And everybody, I guess, is just trying to get down there out of the winter. I can't blame them. Yeah, helicopters are expensive to get rated in. Absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Let's see what else we got here. Bum bum. Once again, I want to apologize to everybody for the rough start on getting this live stream going. I need to get another mic also, so I don't have to like hold this one in front of myself, and I need to remember to look at the camera. Actually, get a different one so it's more at eye level. It's sitting on top of my monitor here. My old computer, I had problems with it, so it's gone. So I've actually got my laptop right here with the monitor folded down. That's what I've got. Let's see. Thanks, Smitty. Appreciate that. Yep. Yeah, I had a telescope when I was a kid. It was what is it? A refractor? I guess that was the other one, not a reflector. But I used to watch the moon all the time with that thing. And, I'm kind of amazed because on Instagram I follow some pilots that have telescopes, and there's this one guy, I can't think of his name right now. Man, he gets some fantastic pictures. I am really impressed. Let's see. No, I haven't, Benjamin. I haven't tried the four flight PDC feature. Maybe I should give it a try. Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, I've enjoyed talking to everybody. I got a late start here, so I'm going to have to hop off here in just a little bit. Let's see if I can get a couple of last questions. Well, sailing airplanes, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep putting stuff out there. I enjoy making it. I enjoy sharing the stories. And let's see, what is a story I can tell? Several telescopes and oh, you do solar observing. Oh, wow. Wow. That is pretty cool. Would you go airlines? Okay. See, selling airplanes, I mean, NetJets, good company to work for, pays well. Airlines, pay well also. It really, there are two big advantages to the airlines, and a lot of those two advantages really drive a lot of their hiring. People that get hired on, they have a schedule that is very important to a lot of people, and they pay very well. And if you stay with them for 30 or 40 years, you're going to do very, very well. Uh, it can get really boring. I mean, it can uh, kind of wear some people down, but they love having a known schedule. Uh, Not having a set schedule is hard for a lot of people. Sometimes I get called the night before. Or the afternoon before, let's go fly tomorrow. We're going to so and so. That doesn't happen in the airlines unless you're on reserve. And but doing this, like I said, some people think they want to go into it, and then they find that they're with a company where the schedule is very unpredictable, and that's very difficult for them to adjust to. Also, as far as NetJets, the pay is good. It's a union job, but they have a lot of they have their schedule in some ways is set because it's like so many days on, so many days off. So those days off are set. You're going to be off for those days and able to enjoy them with your family. Once you're on your tour, then all of that can change within that set number of days. And I can't remember exactly, is it 7 or 8 days for them? Whatever it is. So there is that variation in there also, but it's offset by having the set days off. And that, I think, is what you really, for a lot of people, is the big attraction or detraction with those two jobs. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, a lot of telescope people here. Okay. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Celestron. Flying. There must be. I did not realize there were so many pilots with with telescopes. Yeah, yeah, and like I said, my kids gave it to me. Uh, I love it. See, I got my little model airplanes over there also. They're like the metal airplanes, so if somebody breaks into the house, I'm gonna grab like that P-40 and whack them with the wing or something. You know, be like a hatchet. Let's see. Great about maybe. I'm not quite sure I understand that, but that's okay. Just checking this. Well, I hope everybody has a good Easter weekend. And you got time off and you're not working and you can enjoy that with your family or your friends or significant other or whoever. And yeah, enjoy the flying out there because these spring days, except for the tornadoes and storms and all that, uh, are great. I mean, it was beautiful here where we live today. Perfect temperatures, just beautiful skies. Everything's starting to bloom. And we actually have a puppy also uh, that we're taking care of today, also. It's like having a little kid. So, all right. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it, everybody. And I'm going to be back. I'm going to get this down. I am going to get this figured out. Probably ought to get a good book on it or something, is what I need to do. But, and it may take me oh, no, I see it says in stream. Let's see. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate it. And like I said, everybody fly safe and enjoy the weekend. Thanks.